AutoLine Daily is brought to you by Borg-Warner, feel good about driving. Bridgestone, your journey, our passion. And by Dow Automotive Systems, improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com.
Hello and welcome to AutoLine Daily. Let's get to the news. Bloomberg reports that the Eaton Corporation may sell off its automotive components group to concentrate on electrical power and lighting outside of the automotive industry. Management believes the company's stock could trade at much higher multiples if it exits the automotive business. But you can be sure there's going to be a long line of buyers. Eaton's automotive group has a virtual monopoly on the global supercharger business, which is booming. It's also into valve trains, differentials, gears, and a lot more. But the sale would not include Eaton's heavy truck transmissions. The Automotive Components Group is expected to sell for about $1 billion. Nissan and Honda cut the cost of their EVs, so you knew it was only a matter of time before Chevrolet had to respond. Sales of the Chevy Volt are sinking, and it currently has over 140 days of inventory. So starting today, you can get rebates up to $4,000 on the Volt. That brings the price down to about $35,000, but that's still about $6,000 more than a Nissan Leaf. The company really needs to clean out the remainder of its 2013 lineup to make room for an updated version coming for the 2014 model year. To boost hybrid sales in Malaysia, Honda is slashing the cost to replace the batteries in 4 different models. For example, the nickel metal hydride battery in the Insight now costs about $1,300 to replace. That's down from about $2,500. The lithium ion battery in the Civic Hybrid costs about $1,780 to replace, compared to $3,700 before. Ward's Auto reports Honda was able to cut the prices because of the weaker yen and greater scale due to growing global hybrid sales. And speaking of batteries, Daimler's trying to figure out what to do with the joint venture it has with Evonik Industries to make batteries for electric cars. According to Bloomberg, the joint venture could be sold or a new partner could be added. Daimler calls the battery market challenging. Well, let me translate that for you. That means the battery electric market is a disaster because EVs are selling nowhere near what most people thought they would, and automakers cannot make a return on their investment. At its own developers conference, Apple debuted its own iOS for cars. It can mirror what an iPhone can do on the car's in-dash screen. 95% of new vehicles already work with iOS devices for music and playback control, but with this feature, that'll expand to include phone calls, maps, and messaging. Apple currently has 12 different automakers ready to integrate the system into their vehicles by next year. Say, when was the last time you heard of a concept car making its debut? At a toy show? Meet the Toyota Kamate 57S, which will be shown later this week at the Tokyo Toy Show. The idea is to have parents assemble the car with their children as a way to bring families closer together. It comes as a rolling chassis with an electric motor and battery and has body panels that are easy to attach and allow for customization. Even kids can drive this neighborhood electric. We all know that young Japanese people are not that interested in cars, so could this be Toyota's way to try and get kids interested in cars at a very early age? Could be. Hey, coming up next, we're going to take a look at the new Lexus IS. We'll be back right after this.
Proven on the track and on roads around the world, Borg-Warner turbochargers improve fuel economy and reduce emissions without sacrificing performance. Borg-Warner, official turbocharger supplier to the Izod Indy Car Series.
One phrase we've been hearing a lot from automakers lately is fun to drive, and Lexus is no exception. But the company feels its third generation IS has been reworked to really give it that feeling.
In the 2014, we completely redesigned the suspension from the springs to the shocks to the sway bar. We've increased the rigidity of the sway bar by 20% to decrease that body roll and cornering, where we've also retuned the springs to have a more Lexus ride while driving to and from work. This car is kind of the best of both worlds. It's a nice luxury car when you're driving down the road, but it can hold its own on track day also.
And because it's a Lexus, it had to be made more comfortable to ride in, right?
We've increased the rear seat legroom by 1.6 inches. Not only is that more comfortable when you're inside, but also with this longer wheelbase, the ingress and egress into the rear seat is much easier also. If you go to the front seat, we've also increased its legroom by almost an inch, and that ingress and egress coming inside the car and getting out of the car is a lot better also. One of the other things we've done is actually lowered your seating position and actually pulled the steering wheel down a little bit into your lap more to kind of get you in the cockpit and sit you in the car a little bit more.
And the driver was really taken into consideration with the 2014 IS. A new dash theme was implemented to help the driver concentrate on the road.
In the interior of the vehicle, it's adopted our horizontal dash theme. And with that horizontal dash theme, we have kind of two areas of concentration. And one's the operation zone. And that zone is the area kind of where your hands gently fall from the start button, the climate control, the radio controls, shifting knobs. It's all at a hand's touch. Another zone is the operation zone. We move the navigation screen higher up on the dash, and then also the instrument clusters at that point of that eye point of view where you only have to take your eyes off the road just a little bit to get that important information.
The 2014 Lexus IS is on sale this summer with a starting price of around $37,000. Say, we've got a great Autoline After Hours coming up Thursday night with two of the top designers from Lincoln coming on the show. Susan Lampion and Janet Seymour are two of the top interior designers in the business. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be there because I'm headed to Germany tonight to go take a peek inside the R&D operations at the Robert Bosch Company. But join Jim Hall and the auto extremist himself, Peter DeLorenzo, for the best insider information in the business. And that wraps up today's report. Please check back in with us tomorrow.